Hi, I'm Dr. Gupta from Lenist, Malad, Mumbai. How can I prevent myself from landing up in a fight with my loved one? How can I stop myself from controlling my anger when I actually don't want to fight, but I just can't resist myself? I can't control myself. This is what we're going to discuss in this video. For people who have not seen the other videos earlier, we have divided the anger into three important stages just for convenience. First is the pre-anger stage, where the things and the factors which actually build up our personality, which makes us angry and which pushes us to in that emotion of being angry. Second is the anger phase, which is actually subdivided into three phases. A, the trigger. B, our reaction to that trigger, which makes us angry. And this is actually the most important thing, that when we get affected by our emotion and we respond in an angry way. And third is the cascade we enter into with another person or other people of fight, which leads us to more anger and actually leading to a vicious cycle of fight with others. And actually the third phase or the third stage is the post-anger stage, meaning we have already had a bout of anger, we've landed up with a fight with someone, and now after that we now want to overcome that feeling or emotion or thought, and we want to get back to our routine life, and that's the last phase. So we're discussing today why do we enter into the cascade, and how we can prevent ourselves from getting into the cascade of fight with the people whom we love. Okay, so let's understand that there is some trigger which stimulates us or makes us feel bad or hurt, which makes us react in a particular way, which leads us to be angry. And in this fit of anger, we start getting into the cascade of fight with the people around us. We'll say something, they will say something, we'll do something, they will do something, we'll respond, they will respond, and then it goes on. This is the cascade of fight, or the cascade of anger, the culmination of our anger, which is a common response or outcome of our anger. Well, remember, when we are having a boxing bout, what is the first thing that we do? We try to find out the weakness of the opponent. I'll give you this classical example. If I am your friend and both of us are having a boxing bout and we have had a challenge fight and we need to win this fight. Now you come to know that I have an injury on my left shoulder, and the moment the bell rings, where would you hit me with your punch? Right at the bell. And what is the first punch? Where will the first punch land? Obviously to my shoulder, because you want to hit me, game over, stop, and you win. What we forget is I'm your friend. Why are you wanting to hurt me for the sake of a game? Why would you want to hurt anyone whom you love just for the sake of winning the argument? And that is where we land up with this cascade. Meaning, when you are in this argument with a loved one, you are actually in the war of one-upmanship. To prove yourself, or the opposite person to prove himself or herself, starts pointing mistakes or allegations or justification of their perspective, or they'll try to show your weaknesses, and they'll start hitting you where it hurts the most, hurting you where it hurts the most. So it starts with, for example, a small thing like a wet towel on the bed, and it says, why did you keep it here? Or you always do that. That day you had done it. You always do that. You leave the tap open, this, that. You're always like that. Your whole family is like that. Your parents have done this. Your parents do this, that. And a wet towel leading to a fight and argument with parents coming into the play when they are not even present there is the cascade of fight. Sometimes when we ask the couples that, what was the reason where you started fighting? They say, oh, it was just some silly thing, I don't remember. Well, that's actually the problem with the cascade. A small spark stimulates a fire, leading to a catastrophic jungle fire. And that is what we need to prevent, and that's the cascade. A small spark leading to a wildfire. Now, if you want to control yourself, you need to follow some strategies to not to go into this cascade. So the first strategy is understand that you are entering in this vicious cycle of cascade of proving yourself or justifying yourself. Remember, when a person is angry on the opposite side, whatever you say or whatever you justify is beyond the scope of understanding of an individual, because they have lost the track of the larger picture and they have now reached only one tunnel vision where the only agenda is to prove ourselves right and to prove the opposite person wrong. They have not even understood the larger picture, what is actually going around. It's of no use. So that's important tip. Second, when you're going to the cascade, remember that if you are having the larger picture and having the control, you yourself can bring that thing into the controlled environment. For example, if a child gets angry and comes to you and behaves in an angry way, what would the mother or a father do? Easiest thing, distract. Distract the child from that particular issue and take that issue away. So the whole idea is to turn the issue into something more positive, something more constructive, and get this thing out of the whole thing. Sometimes distract your own mind. Turn your mind away from that point of anger or point of discussion. So if you have the control to think positive at that moment, think about the positive things about the person instead of the negative things, and you'll be able to control your mind. Or you can just try to get out of that situation when you know that this is going to lead to cascade and I am not able to control myself. Get out of the situation. But if it is not possible, for example, the partner says, how can you walk away? Don't walk away. Let's get it over. How would you manage that? So you don't want to walk away, but you want to walk away. There's good ideas that you can follow. You can say, okay, let me come back. I'm taking a toilet break. Go to the toilet, calm down yourself and come back. You'll be rejuvenated and you'll see suddenly it'll stop. Or go and have a glass of water and come. Or just say, okay, I'm going to come back. Let me tell in the office that I'm going to be late. Let me try to break the rhythm of the cascade by some way or the other. Giving an opportunity to opposite person. Opportunity for them to also calm down. And you also should be calming down. When this cascade is going and you want to calm down, you need to tell yourself that I want to calm down. So age-old technique of counting till 1 to 10 helps actually. All the people claim it doesn't work for me, it doesn't work for... But actually, if you are focused on helping yourself, then it works. Or the inhalation technique that take a breath. Take a long breath for 10 seconds. Hold it for 5 seconds and inhale calmly. And tell yourself that whatever comes out of my mouth is only going to be positive. I'm not going to use abusive language or anger or physically aggressive behavior. And then get out of that situation. This really works wonders. So that's another trick that you can do. Another thing is, you can actually use humor or affection or love to deviate that. Create a tool for anger management. Decide on something, okay, darling, I think I really love you and I don't want to argue this further. Or use humor. Self-deprecation means do not try to use sarcasm. It will only increase and add fuel to the fire. But a humorous situation can really help you to get out of that situation. Another idea that you can follow is self-motivation and self-talk. Instead of telling yourself, I can't take this anymore. How dare he can say this to me? You think I cannot give it back to you? And that kind of self-talk, which we normally do in this kind of phases, tell yourself, I can handle this and I can stop myself from getting angry. I can handle my loved one and get him out of this negative emotion. And if you can't do any of these, you definitely have the guts to tell yourself this. This too shall pass. It's just a matter of time when the emotions will calm down. Remember, after every hurricane or every tsunami or every flood or every earthquake, there is going to be a calm after that. It is Mother Nature. So the emotions are going to calm down. And we don't want to repent at that time of what we said and what we did. And hence we need to calm down and do self-talk and motivate ourselves. Another very golden thing at this stage is that remember, when you know that potentially the person across us is actually someone whom we love or like, whose behavior in a way is affecting you, understand that at that time they just need someone to hear them out and not respond and not be judgmental. It is just a vomit of emotion which is coming out, which is not tolerable to us. But normally when your small child vomits or passes motions or bowel movements, you don't start getting angry. What do? You hold on, maintain your calmness, and you wipe it clean and start all over again. Remember, this is an emotional vomit which is coming out, and you need to be calm and cope up with that. The most important skill in life which you can learn in communication skill is listening skills without getting affected yourself. And that's what you need to do in the cascade. So when you're going through a cascade, always tell yourself that I can handle this and stop this cascade from moving ahead. Create tools to be able to overcome this. And those tools can be a statement like, let's agree to disagree. Darling, I love you so much that I don't want to discuss this further, because this is only going to lead to non-acceptance of each other or more fights. So you need to make those 1 or 2 liners, which, you know, like in childhood when we used to play games, and suddenly if somebody is coming to catch you and you'll say, time please, and the whole game halts at that time. Okay, create that time please tool even in your fights, where one of the partners says a particular statement or a particular way of putting it across a body language, and the moment that happens, the other partner understands that this is time please and we need to stop discussion of this issue here. Why? Because the larger good of being together and happy together is much more important than that tunnel vision, narrow desire for you to just show the person down or prove yourself to be right. Lastly, remember, the worst part in the cascade is that both the partners strongly feel that they are right and they are not in a position to accept other person's perspective. So the most inappropriate moment to make the other person understand your perspective is when you are in a cascade of fight. That's the last thing that you want to do, right? So in short, the cascade is the most common but also the worst outcome of your anger, where you'll end up having fight with your partner and it builds up and it goes on, and it really affects you not just at that moment but for a very long time, and it creates very bad and sad memories. We don't want these bad memories in our life. Avoid them. Thank you very much.